There are things that are going to happen in your life that, while we all think that we are prepared for, or that we know that we have things, could be insurance, there could be all kinds of things that we think we're ready for. The loss of a loved one and the care of a loved one, and towards that end, is something that none of us can be prepared for or even know how we're going to react.
Hospice of Washington County has been servicing our community for over 34 years. Hospice of Washington County has been very instrumental in educating the community on end-of-life care.
Hospice can touch every life, particularly at the end of life, and it's not just for the person involved, it's for the family and the friends.
A family never knows when they're going to need the care of hospice.
Wow, look what these people at hospice do. Look how at this tough time in someone's life that they step up and actually do something for the community and for those people. It's a great thing, it really is.
Hospice of Washington County has always been able to excellently care for patients in their homes, nursing homes, and assisted livings. But at times, a higher level of care setting is needed. Adding a hospice house will provide that higher level of care in our community.
Well, unfortunately, through my mom's whole ordeal, I found out the hard way what a hospice house was. And I also found out the hard way that we didn't have one in Washington County.
Unfortunately, at this time, patients who require hospice house services have to travel outside of that Washington County service area. This creates dire hardship on families and the ability to maximize the quality of time with their loved ones.
A hospice house can provide an amount of care and a level of care that people at the end of life may need, and that is just outstanding. The patients will benefit from that, and the families will be able to support their loved one, giving care and receiving support from the hospice team in that environment that otherwise doesn't happen.
There's definitely a sense of urgency in our community. It's not a matter of if Doey's house will be built, but when. Our community needs Doey's house, a hospice house, yesterday.
After years of discussing the building of a hospice house, individuals, volunteers, businesses small and large put pen to paper and realized that with enough smart planning and enough community support, Washington County will have its very own hospice house.
This is a house for everybody in our community, not just those who can afford it, but for those who need it.
The hospice house will benefit the people of Washington County as well as the health system in Washington County. It actually provides a level of service that would not otherwise be available. People will have the opportunity to spend their last days in comfort and with the dignity that they and their families really would prefer.
It would be a great thing to have in our community.
A hospice house should have been built in Washington County 10 years ago.
Not everybody comes from, the typical family with parents and children. We sometimes have people who live alone. We have patients who live just with a spouse. With the change in society, the kids don't live in this area, can't provide the support. And so it's important that home care organizations like hospice can expand the level of support, and a hospice house really will address that.
I think now is the time, and the opportunity is before us, and I think it's a great chance to move forward and provide better services for our citizens.
I'm a Washington County resident, and to think and have that thought of a Washington County resident not having the ability to be able to go somewhere and have to go to an out-of-town area to provide the services that hospice provides in a house setting, when you think about that, Washington County deserves better than that.
What a great opportunity our community has to build this hospice house for generations to come. And in honor of Neil Glessner's mother, it'll proudly be called Doey's house.
Losing a loved one is a terribly hard thing to go through. This place is going to make it a little bit easier for your loved one and for your family.
Doey's house is a natural extension of the services that hospice has to offer. This is a need that we've had for a long time, and many people will benefit from it.
I think this is a project that needs to be moved forward. We need a facility like this in Washington County. It'll be the only one in our area to be able to have this hospice home, this wonderful end-of-life care to be able to have all of us enjoy the dignity that comes with a hospice home. There is nothing like it in this community, and that makes it truly special.
Respite care or end-of-life care where there are not the adequate support services for someone at home. I think clearly a hospice house can address those needs in a way that we've not been able to up to this point.
Every great community has a hospice house. Now it's Hagerstown's turn. Let's build our own.
We've considered a hospice house over the course of the last 10 years, and it's been a discussion that the board has engaged in a number of different times. And it's actually very exciting that we're finally getting to the point that we really feel like now is the time, and this is going to be a reality for Washington County.
Not only is it important for us to build Doey's house, and we need funds to build Doey's house, but we also need to think about how are we going to sustain it. It is very difficult to keep a hospice house up and running and operational well into the future. So one of the things that we really hope to do is to raise a $5 million endowment that will continue to give funds when we need to meet operational expenses for the future.
We're stepping up for the residents, we're building something for them, and this will last for generations to help people.
My wife, Mary, and I are 100% committed in leading the charge in this community to see that we have a hospice house built.
So we are very much in support of this project.
Hospice has also affected me personally in several situations, and they were there when we needed them most. This is why my sisters and I, through our family foundation, feel it is very important to support this project.
I'm really glad to be part of this, and I've got to decide how much I'm going to give and what I can do to try to help.
If I could have one wish in life, it would be to be able to go back in time and have my mom's final days be spent in a house like the one we are building.
We have that chance, maybe this only time that we have this chance, to be able to move forward with this. It's an opportunity for our community to be truly great.
Sitting with Mama, alone in her bedroom, she opened her eyes and then squeezed my hand. She said, I have to go now, my time here is over. And with her final words, she tried to help me understand. Mama whispered softly, time will ease your pain. Life's about changing, nothing ever stays the same. And she said, how